Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Bayeux, France, in Normandy. We got the D-Day beaches right by us. It's really kind of a moving place to go. Some cool stuff here. And today what we have are some questions from our fans, and I kind of want to address some of these issues because they are questions I've got quite often. And the first question comes from a lot of fans, so I'm just going to put it this way. Do I need to know the language when I travel? No, you do not need to know the language when you're going to go travel someplace. Traveling helps you explore. No one can know every single language. I know 6, okay? I can't know them all, but we still explore everywhere. The thing is, if you're going to go, don't let not knowing the language scare you out of traveling. It is still worth traveling because traveling really does open your eyes and it's such a great experience. But the thing is, one, English is the de facto language of tourism pretty much all throughout the world, and especially here in Europe. Here, I mean, if you're in a place like Bayeux here in France, this is where the D-Day invasion came in, where the Americans, the Brits, the Canadians, and they all came through here. So a lot of people here do speak English in the tourism industry, and a lot of the normal people do too. And no one expects you to be fluent in the language of the country you go to. Yes, people would like it. It does make it a lot better if you speak the language you go. You get to experience the culture better. People open up more. They tell you more things. So, but the thing is, you don't have to speak the language. So the answer is, do I have to speak the language to go somewhere? No, you don't. You'll be fine with English, and you have your guidebooks and stuff like that. You'll be okay. But does it help if you know the language? Yes, it does. And even if you can know just a little bit, saying merci, thank you, goes a long way. S'il vous plaît means please, you know, in French. Or what's always important is know l'addition, the bill. Knowing those little words like that can make a really big difference to make it a much better trip. So, no, you don't have to know any other language when you travel. It just helps, okay? Now, question number 2 comes from Tara Dawes, and Tara asks, Mark, is there any airlines you usually fly with, or basically what I see it as airlines you like to use or you don't like to use, and how do you decide? Well, we're going to fly, you know, if we're going within the US or we're already in Europe, we're flying around that way, or anywhere we go, basically we're going to look at a few things. One, we're going to look at the safety aspect, make sure there's no problems with those airlines. The other thing we're going to look at is, of course, the price that's there, but also with the price, we're also going to look at what time do we get in, or what time do we have to depart, because those 3 things can really have a big effect. Now, obviously, safety and the place they're going to go is really important, but when you look at what time you're going to get in, or what time you have to leave, that can add on to some of the prices. So, for example, if when I used to fly, I used to live in Lithuania, where I'd fly to England to visit friends, if I would fly with Ryanair, well, the flight on Sunday is like at 6 in the morning, okay, from Stansted to Lithuania. The problem is there's no public transport at that hour of the morning on a Saturday, so you can't get the easy ways into town. Now, people will tell you, oh, well, there's buses that go. Yes, but you have to get to where that bus starts to get there, so you got to get to the Victoria station and stuff like that, and there's not any public transport, so you could be shelling out 50 pounds, so $75, or 100 pounds if you got to go all the way out to the airport or more. So you really want to look at and see is, hey, where do they actually take us? Because we used to take Ryanair, and then we saw that they didn't do very good with the baggage, and also we were getting into airports that were so far away that by the time we got into town, we'd almost, you know, we'd lose a couple hours getting to town, but also with the times they came in, we lost a whole day of travel, so it wasn't really worth it. So what we started to do is we'd look and see, yes, we could get a Ryanair flight at 6 in the morning, or for another 20 bucks, I could go with British Airways and I'd leave at like 10 in the morning, so I could take public transport and I get in at 12 or something like that. Oh, well, that makes it a lot better. So there's a lot of things that kind of influence our choice of airlines that we do use. When we're going to be flying to Europe or Asia or Latin America or South America, what we do try to do is stay with 2 main airlines when we're doing long-haul flights. We personally use United and Delta as our 2 main ones because they have hubs near where we're going to live. I've enjoyed their service with them, so I can't really complain. And they both have good frequent flyer programs, so we can get free flights. Because a lot of times my wife wants to go down to visit her sister. I say, you know what? Go help out your sister. I can use the miles. It's a free flight. We have so many of them, and it's really great. So we do kind of get a bunch of free miles. The boys, they have enough miles to go to Europe a couple times. But that means we can say, hey, you want to go see your grandparents? If they're in Florida, you can go see them. It's no problem. And we're not out any money. We just flew with those people enough. We kind of accrued all those things. So that was kind of cool. And our third question comes from Will Hurst. And Will wants to know, basically, with all these festivals you hear about, is it worth going to these famous festivals in Europe or wherever? And I'll tell you, yes, it is worth going to the big festivals, and it's worth going to the little festivals as well, because you get to see all the craziness. The big ones, yes, if you go to the Run of the Bulls in Pamplona, it's a bit nuts with all the people there, the drunk Americans that seem to get killed when anything happens. But the thing is, they have smaller versions of these things in other towns. You go to Piascola and you can go and and see Running the Bulls there too, without all the crazy people. Oktoberfest, yes, it's fun to go in Munich. I've been there before, but other times you can go to the other parts of Bavaria and have a good Oktoberfest time. So go to the big festivals and go to the small festivals because they're all worth checking out. Just know that the smaller ones, usually cheaper, easier to find accommodation. The bigger ones, like if you're going to be going to Munich for Oktoberfest, you need to be booking rooms a long time in advance, and you can't always get a table when you're there. Anyway, if you have any questions for us, please put it in the comment section below. We like to kind of answer some of our fans' questions if we can. So have a great time traveling. You want to learn more? Check us out at woltersworld.com. Bye from Bayeux, France.